And I do feel bad about this, just so you know. Remember how you told a story once you stole a couple lamps? It happens back in the day. You're a kid. I made a mistake once. It's the only time I ever made a mistake. But getting back to that Thursday paper, Thursday was the worst day because it was the heaviest day. I'm like 12. Again, Sunday's cool. My mom or dad, they're driving me around.
Yeah.
I'm running.
Yeah.
Thursday, that bag was heavy as hell. You could barely fit the papers in. You're stuffing them, folding them. There was one morning, 12, 13, wake up late. I go out. They would deliver the ads separate. So they would drop off, the truck would drop off the ads separately from the newspaper. So my job, this is why, now I'm getting longer, but I fell in love with TV sports reporting by watching Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann on SportsCenter every morning as I would fold my papers about, 6 o'clock before I would deliver them. There was one Thursday, I go out there, big-ass bundle of ads. And I just look at it, and I just know, oh, my God. And I took those ads one time. All those great advertisers and companies that paid their hard-earned money. This happened one time.
Charlie Marlow.
I'll never do it again. I feel bad because now I'm in TV and radio and digital, and it's advertising-driven, and I feel terrible. But just one day, I took that bundle of ads, and I threw it right in the garbage.
Oh, you're going to
and
purgatory.
I delivered that thin paper.
Purgatory.
I have a worse one. I have a worse story of something I did as a kid.
Yeah.
But it wasn't one time. So USA Today hired people to build up their subscription by having kids go door to door and offer free month just sign up for the subscription, whatever the deal was. And me and my buddy were on the crew, and we'd work hard at it, and we'd get a few and make some money. But we realized we weren't going to be doing it long term. I think it might have been like in college. I don't remember. But we realized that they wouldn't have time to vet if these sign-ups were real or not. So instead of walking around, we just find a place, get something to eat, and we'd sign names. Willis Reed, the entire Knicks roster.
Sure. Dave
signed
the
up for
Pusher.
whatever, and we get these huge checks. And the guy who was in charge of this gypsy group of people going neighborhood to neighborhood was so impressed with us. He was like, "You guys are my stars. You know, what can I do for you?" And we like, "Yeah, we don't feel like doing it today unless you buy us a nice lunch." You're like, "We want pizza. Buy us pizza. We're not going out." And he would make his money off off what we did. So we would make this guy buy us pizza, and we'd be getting these big checks on bogus things. And then once it got caught, the guy called us as we were about to go out, probably our last week, and he said, "You guys are in trouble. You guys did this and this and this." And we're like, "We did. And we're quitting this week anyway, so
Adios, amigos.
Like, we didn't do anything. Like, we weren't going to face any legal charges or anything. So we just said,
Let's quit.
Okay, thanks for the pizza.
Yeah.
Can I tell another one?
Yeah.
Again, I probably told this, so
You
I'll
murdered
try to
someone.
This wasn't murder. This was technically legal, but I would call it immoral. So, the winter breaks and the summer breaks for college, I worked at a gym for all 4 years. First couple years, I'm just doing whatever. They kind of started incentivizing the last couple years by commission to really, if you sell these memberships, it became a nice amount. I mean, honestly, it was like, wow, that's where, okay, I got to start selling. So we had these memberships. It was called 2020. Hey, 2020. That's what Chuck calls Martin. 20 down, 20 a month. Pretty good. Only 20 down, 20 a month. But the key was you had to get in for a 3-year deal. Right? They were pushing the 3-year deal.
Wow.
36 months.
That's a lot.
It is.
A lot.
When I think about it now. Okay, but you're getting 20 down, 20 a month. Now, we had all these different, what would you call them, franchises all over the country. I figured this out myself. The deal was, if you moved like 25 miles away from another gym, you could cancel. And it was right in there in the fine print. So what we started doing, we figured out. Basically, when summer started, so many dudes who went to college away from Toledo came back. They wanted to work out for 90 days. That's all they wanted. And I knew all these guys. I go, here's the deal. I'm going to get you a deal. It's 20 down, 20 a month. I said, you're going to sign up for 36 months, but tell me where you go to college. Oh, you go to Miami of Ohio? We don't have a gym near there. You can cancel this. You're going to end up paying a total of $80 for 20 down, 3 months. You're going to cancel. You're going to get 3-month membership for $80. I'm going to sell you a 3-year membership. I get 10% commission. I get the money early 10% off $740 is $74. Me as the salesman got $74. The gym ended up getting $80 total when the dudes canceled 3 months later.
So
Yours is worse than mine.
Yours is a little
so
worse.
they made $6 and you made 74.
Correct. But it was that was legally, it was in the fine print of the contract those people signed.
Our boy Straubby signed me up for Dish and this special exclusive deal. He always had something going. So when I first started with Fox, he's like, yeah, I got this thing. And so we had Dish, and it was awful, and we had to change. Straubby didn't care by that. He had my money.
I used to sign up with anybody that banged on my door back in when I was young, living there. They'd sell me like an energy drink stuff, and then somebody else would not like, yeah, I'll sign up for that. Yeah, I'll sign up for that. Yeah, I'll sign up for that. And after a while, you're like, what the hell am I paying for? What am I paying for?
I did that once.
And they wouldn't let me get out of it.
I think I was 18, 19. I get this call. Hey, you got this credit card, and you owe this because you haven't been using it. It was a credit card where you actually had to use it, or they were going to penalize you.
Yeah.
I go, I didn't sign up for that. I go, what are you talking about? They're like, no, during spring training or spring break, somewhere you signed up for a free towel, and you got the credit card. So I did do it. Whatever, it was the free T-shirt or the duffel bag or the towel. You had to sign up for some credit card, and I figured, I just never use it. But it was one of those credit cards you actually have to use it once a month, or they get you.
They'll get
I was
you.
like, that wasn't me. They're like, on January 4th, you didn't sign. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted that duffel
like,
bag.
That actually was
You
me.
wanted a
I was
duffel
there.
bag.
It was something so dumb like that.
So
It was
dumb.
probably a $30 gag crap gift.
In college, credit card companies, you just signed. They'd give you a card. You'd
Yeah.
run it up, and you had no money to pay.
Yes.
I didn't do it. A lot of my friends did.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, they had $3,000 bills that their parents had to pay.
And then they got signed up for another credit card, and they did it again. Yeah, that was going down a lot, man.
My wife told me a story about Andy Cohen. Did you hear about this?
Andy Cohen, the Bravo guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, St. Louis guy.
St. Louis guy.
Yeah.
So my wife
the
was telling me.
Cardinals.
So it's kind of secondhand, but I think it's kind of fascinating. So he lost his debit card, and just as he lost it, he got this call saying, "Hey, you need to do this to secure your card, and we're going to send you a verification code." I know if you've ever lost your card, but they do that. Everyone sends you a verification code, and there is a moral to the story. So he was like, "Okay, I'm going to do them," and it turns out it wasn't the bank. And then they would call him, and then if we would never ask for your email. That was a scam. And then the next person that called was in on the scam and would send him. And he hit verification codes a few times where it was actually him transferring his money into their account.
Oh,
Now,
God.
I don't have all the details,
Man.
but the point is, Andy Cohen's a smart guy. He said, I'm a smart guy. Maybe it was just the fate because I had lost my card. Maybe someone tipped them off within the bank that I had lost my card, but I was susceptible in that moment. So apparently, I guess the moral of the story is when someone sends you a verification code, it might not be a verification code.
Here's a real story that happened about 2-3 months ago to my dad. My dad's old school, like a lot of people are. They're still sending checks and whatnot,
Yeah,
right? And
yep.
I guess I still technically send a couple here and there, but I try to do it all digitally. But then the digital part was part of the issue here. He sends a check to somebody for whatever. So he thinks that somebody, some scammer, got a hold of the check. And I've seen the check that basically was the issue here. So somebody doctored the check and then digitally deposited it in their account. I looked at this check. No human being would ever have let this check pass at a bank.
Yeah.
When you look at the fonts and whatnot, like the number that he wrote in the box, you could see beyond it, there was like other writing. So whoever is doing the AI technology to read the checks, no human being would have passed this check, but it somehow passed the digital deposit. It was for $3,500.
Ooh.
Came out of his account. He's going to get it back, but it takes a while. Like, you're going through all the
Yes.
stupid process and all that. But he thinks it's because he sent a check in the mail
Probably.
and somebody scooped it up.
Probably. Yeah, and you could tell, just like the movie Catch Me If You Can with Leo. Remember, he's taking the checks
yeah.
and he's soaking them wet and he's letting them dry and he takes stickers off of different things and he's writing it in. Man, he was doing that back in the
forging
day.
checks.
Yes.
That's interesting. I've often wondered, like, it seems to me when you you deposit your check in, when I get my weekly check from the Cardinals for not criticizing them.
Sure.
And I slide that into the ATM, how could they tell if this is real? Like, wouldn't you want a human being to, like, I know there's a barcode, but like you said, sometimes the writings, it used to be, even if you messed up writing a check to someone, you had to initial if you changed something.
Yeah.
Now it seems like all bets are off. Anything goes.
If you saw this check, you would laugh. You would laugh at the fact that it was able to be deposited digitally.
My dad just got a bill for, I think it was like AutoZone. He wasn't there. And he went right to the bank and like, nope, we'll take care of it right now. Boom. Right there in Eureka.
I think it's
How the hell did that happen?
I think it's cheaper for them. Like the fraud costs of people cheating and doing fraudulent things is in the billions. I just wonder, is it cheaper for them to just pay it out than to fix it?
Yeah, I bet you they invest millions and millions of dollars in fraud protection and all that. And then you hear these stories. Look, governments, companies get hacked. They pay off these hackers. Sometimes you hear about it. I bet you sometimes we don't hear about it.
No doubt about it, dude.
Come on, the PPP money that went overseas, that went to people, God knows where, that don't even have businesses, billions of dollars.
Billions.
The rental assistance. I talked to people about that. They said you would not believe how many fraudulent applications we get from everywhere in the world for Missouri rent. They're coming from Africa. They're coming from Asia.
Yeah, dude.
Fake names.
India.
They're like, at one point they said 90% of the applications were fraudulent.
Jeez.
That's what they're spending their time on. And they have to, because look, if you're giving out money, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to try to get it illegally.
And generally, it's an organized thing, right?
100%. Oh, yes. Absolutely.
It's called check washing, 3 and 4.
You forging checks?
Forging. Yeah,
I
man.
still do a lot of my bills by check, as dumb as that is. Some automatically come out.
Yeah.
But I'm just old school. So, and then when I call the bank to order more checks, they're like, "You want to order what?"
That's like my
bad?
dad. Like once a month, he sits at the table. He's got his bills. He's got his wads of paper.
He's
He's
writing
got his
down
big old.
the-
He's got a rubber band around his
Yeah.
checkbook.
That's me.
He's
Yeah.
got his papers. He's got his envelopes ripped up, and I'm gonna write the water bill and the electric bill. I guarantee you, he still does it. Like
I hate it. I do.
For sure.
partially.
If I can go back in time and really look at all the times I'm paying stupid things and I didn't even know it. Oh, God almighty. Just stupid things. Not to mention, I remember I had Xbox and PS5. Better watch this. Because I had Xbox and I shut it down and I was still getting, I tried to get out of it. They charged me for like 3 years of something that I guess I signed up for. And then they charged me for like buying outfits for a character. And then I'm like, what is this all about? Like honestly charging me all kinds. Happened for years. And I tried to call them and never got any of the money back. Got to watch that with the kids too, man. You got their credit card in that PS5. It is so easy with these microtransactions where they can press one button and it's $16.99 for a hat for a character, and you don't even realize.
I know.
Boom, boom, it bills up. All of a sudden, you
In
got a
Fortnite,
$400 check.
in Fortnite they call it skins.
$400 bill a month.
We got to
You
watch
even-
it.
dang.
You got to watch that. I'm telling you,
Hey.
it's hard to get your money back from those guys.
You remember? You guys will probably remember this. Cole, probably a little young for this. Remember the different companies, whether it was Sam Goody or the CD clubs? Remember that?
Yes.
These companies, back when there was still ads you'd get in the newspaper, it would say, you'll get 10 CDs for the price of one. Join our CD club or cassette club.
Ah, yeah,
Whatever
yeah,
it
yeah,
was,
That was
right?
big.
Yes,
Huge.
yes.
So my brother gets into this. He's a little older than me. He's about 2.5 years older. So he joins one of these clubs. Well, how do they get you? They give you 10 CDs. You pay for one.
For 99 cents or
But
something.
then you don't know they've signed you up for the monthly. Where you
Exactly.
get two and you got to pay whatever, $30. I think my brother had just turned 18. Whenever he might have done it before if he was allowed with some type of permission. I can't remember when this happened. I just remember a phone call. I remember as my brother runs the bill up, never pays for anything. Gets all the CDs, got every CD, he's got Guns N' Roses,
Happy.
he's got Nirvana, he's
Yeah.
got everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Never pays his bill. A couple years later, we're getting these calls from bill collectors and whatnot. And I just remember one time my mom, she just got so pissed. And my mom's like, she'll say anything to anyone. And she gets on, she's like, just F-bombs. You gave an 18-year-old with no credit this credit card. He ran up the bill. This is ridiculous. I'm going to sue you. This is on you. My son has no credit. He doesn't even have a job right now. He's in high school or he's in college. And she was half right. They're predatory on these people that don't know what they're doing.
Of course they are.
And they worked out some deal where they paid off, if he had ran up $1,000, they paid the 100 and they made it go away. But she went off on this bill collector once. And again, they do go after these kids. And I say kids, okay, 18, but they don't read the fine print. No. They don't know those bills are going to start coming every month. Next thing you know, you owe $600 for CDs.
Well, if you don't have proof of income,
$600,
right? You should have to have proof of income.
That's what she's saying. He's 18. He doesn't even have a job. He's in high school. He's trying to go to college.
It's the same with the college, the credit cards for the college kids
older
that go out and get 12 cases of beer for a party, and not realizing you have to pay for that, and now your parents are going to have to pay the bill.
Oh, I bet you that happens a lot in college. That first month in college, they look at the bill like, But they say always give your kid a credit card, not a debit card when they go to college. Because if somebody steals your debit card, whatever money's in there, it's gone. Mm-hmm. But a credit card, you can get your money back a lot easier.
No, you can get your money back on a debit card if you can see.
But if somebody, it's gone, so you're gonna have to wait, and you don't have any money in your account. But if you have a credit card, you can still have your money in your account with your debit card.
So I have a debit card that I use, and when we were in Philly, they detected fraud, I guess, and they shut it down, but didn't tell me.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, it's getting declined. That's embarrassing.
It's God awful, dude. That's happened to me. Oh my God.
And then I took the Uber from the airport to where we're staying in Philly, and it apparently declined my card, but went to the default, which is on I have an Uber account for Bally's because I got to sometimes take cabs to the airport, what have you. And so all of a sudden I have a charge that wasn't company related on my Bally's credit card that I had to pay it myself because it default. But they should tell you when something's going on.
Dude, I've been embarrassed in front of a lot of people at a restaurant or whatnot, and you're like, and it's just a security thing because I spent too much money somewhere else or whatever.
But I'm
like, no, I got money in there.
They should let you know that.
I swear, girls, I swear to God.
But also, if you pay all your bills digitally, and your card gets, the number gets stolen somewhere, you got to go through
big time
everything and change that, right? And then if you forget one, all of a sudden you didn't pay your bill.
Yeah, and you're
and it's because you forgot that this was on your card.
Yeah,
it's a big pain in the butt.
But if you're out in Vegas, let's say, and you don't let your card know that you're traveling, and then maybe it's 2 a.m. and you're picking up a tab and sorry, sir, this was declined. Then you call, hey, was this charge you was this you for this amount at 3 a.m.? Yes.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was. Please,
ding, ding, ding.
Please go ahead and let that go through, but thank you.
Weenie Wiggler chimes in. What's up, buddy? He goes, remember the SpongeBob ice cream kid? The kid was playing with his mom's iPad on SpongeBob game. He somehow exited out and typed in SpongeBob into Amazon and ended up buying pallets and pallets of SpongeBob popsicles, something like $11,000 worth of popsicles, and they're delivered to his house. That kind of stuff.
And they melted.
One button.
For a kid.
One button. He just pressed one button, type something else, and all of a sudden he's just racking up stuff because your credit card's already online.
Amazon does that. They did that to me a couple times. Something I didn't even know I clicked it. Next thing you know, every month, like a $16 withdrawal. And I said, what the hell is
What
this?
is this?
I did not sign up for it.
What is this?
Do you get a lot of packages from Amazon, though?
My wife does, yes.
I just think, I hate things that are too big. Like, I don't think Amazon is good, like, generally for the greater good. But it's so damn convenient that I use it. Like, I think it's harmful because I think a lot of the businesses that shut down are because of Amazon, right?
I saw him on a podcast with Lex Friedman.
Bezos?
Bezos.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
But
he's interesting.
I mean, he sold books on there, and he built it to his credit. But
smart.
It's so convenient. You need a pair of shoes. I'm not going.
No.
I'm just gonna get him online.
Dude, he breaks. He was actually more normal than I thought.
Yeah.
And he's just talking about space and technology and just. He is a brilliant man, like he truly is. Lex Friedman. It's a good pod. It's an hour long, and it just gets right into it right off the bat. They talk about all kinds of stuff. It's really, really interesting. Just a new look on him now after watching that hour-long pod.
So just an hour. He must have only given him an hour because Lex will go 4 hours.
Maybe it's longer than that. I maybe only listened for an hour.
Okay.
I mean, they were talking about everything. It's so interesting.
Yeah, but if you want something more interesting, check out Cat's Corner. We were interviewing Brendan Ryan today, and he used to lick his jersey.
Yeah.
Speaking of Brendan's, and I have Brendan Schaefer. And by the way, releasing today. Hey, your buddy, I really enjoyed this yesterday. We taped it. I'll release it today. Eric Messersmith and I for about an hour.
Oh, good.
Good stuff.
Good. We'll get him
release
on.
it.
We'll get him on, too.
Yeah.
I like
He's a
him
good dude.
Love him. I love him to death.
He's a very smart, reasonable person.
Funny, and he's funny, and he doesn't take himself seriously,
Right.
and he never gets offended. Like, you could chirp him, and he's just like...
You like dogs?
Yeah.
Good.